Okay, so this is in Act 3, Scene 4, and this is in the Tower of London, where some of Richard's supporters have been talking. Now, Richard's supporters were talking before this, and Richard come in and left with one of the other people. Hastings is talking about Richard and saying, His Grace looks cheerfully and smooth today, saying, oh yeah, he looks like he's in a good mood. I think there's never a man in Christendom that can less hide his love or hate than he, for by his face straight shall you know his heart. This is a really powerful line, and he's saying, whatever Richard feels in his heart, you can see it in his face. He's so open and honest, he can't hide anything from anyone, which, as we the audience know, is a total lie. Darby asks, what of his heart perceive you in his face by any likelihood he showed today? So he's asking, if you can tell by his face what he has in his heart, what's he thinking today? Hastings says, with no man here he is offended, for, were he had shown it in his looks. So he's saying, there's no one in here that he thinks has done wrong by him, because if he were, we would have seen it. Darby shows a hint of wariness at Richard. He says, I pray God he be not, I say. So this is an interesting line of one of Richard's supporters showing fear towards Richard. He prays to God that Richard is not angry because he's starting to know the consequences, what happens if Richard's angry, whereas Hastings doesn't seem quite aware of that fact. Richard enters and we see a total change of scene. I pray you all, so he's begging them, tell me what they deserve, that do conspire my death with devilish plots of damned witchcraft, and that have prevailed upon my body with their hellish charms. Think about the language here, in contrast with the kind of loving language up here. It's really dramatic. He's quite vague as well. Tell me what they deserve, that do conspire my death with devilish plots of damned witchcraft. He's not being at all specific. Hastings says, the tender love I bear your grace, my lord, so we can see his eagerness to please, makes me most forward in this noble presence, to doom the offenders, whatsoever they be. I say, my lord, they have deserved death. Gloucester says, then be your eyes the witness of this ill. See how I am bewitched. Behold my arm is like a blasted sapling. It's like a lightning-struck tree, withered up. So he's talking about his own deformities, which Richard has already mentioned to us in Act 1, Scene 1, where we looked at his soliloquy, was the result of him being born prematurely. And this is Edward's wife, Elizabeth, that monstrous witch, consorted with that harlot Strumpet Shaw. Now Shaw was Jane Shaw. She was just a lady in the court who Gloucester's accusing of being a witch and conspiring with Elizabeth, that by their witchcraft thus have marked me. So he's blaming Elizabeth and this Jane Shaw for his deformities. Hastings says this one line, which kind of sentences his own death. If they have done this thing, my gracious lord. Think about this, he's still pandering up to him, he's still calling him my gracious lord, but he said this one word, if. Gloucester, if I, thou protector of this damned strumpet, tellst thou me of ifs? Thou art a traitor, off with his head. So, here, Hastings has realised that Gloucester has it in for him. He's using this thing of Hastings saying if as the fact that Hastings is defending Elizabeth against Gloucester. Now by St. Paul I swear, I will not dine until I see the same. Lovell and Ratcliffe, look that it be done, the rest that love me, rise and follow me. So here we kind of see a threat from Richard. The rest that love me, rise and follow me. He's daring anyone to kind of argue with him and say, look, Hastings actually hasn't done anything wrong. He's just said, if this is true. But if anyone else argues against it, that will prove in Richard's eyes that they don't love him therefore face the same fate as Hastings had.